Now at 5 o'clock, Colorado Springs and Schriever Space Force Base now responding to the Russian invasion tonight.
Beautiful brand new homes soon to be built in the Springs that you can rent more affordably rather than buy. It's the latest trend to fight our home shortage.
And some beautiful clouds rolling in, but enjoy it. Cold and possible rain and snow on the way into the Pikes Peak region for your weekend.
You're watching KRDO News Channel 13, where the news comes first. Your news starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Heather Skold.
And I'm Mallory Anderson.
We'll talk about a warm March day out. It's not a bit overcast. A great night to roll down the car windows if you're driving home, but if you're here in Alamosa, you might not want to do that. It's a bit windy there.
Yeah, look at that. It's been bouncing around all afternoon when we take this camera. Storm Tracker 13 Chief Meteorologist Mary Matthews is in now with our forecast and what's on the way. You can see some of it in that camera.
Yeah, it's a telltale sign also of things to come. That is spring. We've got a few thunderstorms on the radar right now. You'll notice across parts of the Sangre de Cristos and some little updrafts or upticks of energy here just around the Wet Mountain Valley. So if you're joining us around Westcliff or Silver Cliff, you may be hearing just some rumbles of thunder just outside your door. You'll notice there in Rosita, Cold Spring, higher terrain areas above the 11,000 feet. So we still have some high elevation mountain snow, but some of those valleys are picking up a couple little lightning strikes there. Most of what is out across the plains is not actually reaching the ground, but it will soon over the next 24 hours as more low-level moisture comes in. Across the western slopes, some heavier downpours there just around Grand Junction, moving towards Rangeley and Meeker with some lightning strikes showing up there. We will get just a few little stray showers and snow showers here around western El Paso County, Teller County through the evening hours. But this is going to be very short-lived until about 9 p.m. this evening. You'll notice Canyon City, Penrose picking up some showers here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. We've also had some gusty winds out there today. Red flag warnings in effect along and east of I-25 until 8 p.m. As concerning the high fire danger in the region. Winter storm alerts are widespread across the high country, mainly here just west of Pagosa Springs, where we could pick up close to a foot of snow over the next 48 hours. And Telluride, light to moderate amounts, 4 to 8 inches there just around the San Juans. Here in Colorado Springs, if you're venturing out and about this evening, keep the umbrella handy. A few little spillover rain showers and even some flurries are going to be possible this evening, but most of this will melt on impact. We're not expecting any widespread snow accumulations initially, but as we move through the weekend, that is going to change just a bit. Expected to be cooler Saturday. Most of the first part of the day is dry. Then we expect snow on Sunday, off and on snow showers for Sunday and much cooler temperatures. We'll talk about that and how much snow we're expecting for Sunday and early Monday. It's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Lots of changes. Thank you, Mary. As Russia's attack on a nuclear power plant in Ukraine escalates the threat there tonight, the battle against Russian cyber threats are fought right here in Colorado.
Senator Michael Bennet, along with the Senate Intelligence Committee chair, spoke at Schriever Space Force Base in Colorado Springs today about the future of Eastern Europe. Investigative reporter Dan Beedie is live outside Schriever after speaking with a senior senator from Colorado. Dan.
Yeah, Senator Michael Bennet says the nexus of national intelligence and space war fighting is right here in El Paso County. It's Schriever Space Force Base, and it has a role to play in the future of Ukraine. Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado, along with Senator Mark Warner from Virginia, took a tour of Schriever Space Force Base Friday. Warner is the chair of the United States Senate Intelligence Committee, while Bennet is a member.
It is the integration of the intelligence agencies sitting side by side on these floors with Space Force and with Space Command that's enabling us to be able to have exquisite intelligence that we're using to help our allies all over the world.
Senator Warner says Russia's cyber threat capabilities are critical to future battles in Ukraine. The senator from Virginia fears Russia has been holding back thus far.
I've been, frankly, and I think there's been surprised that the Russian forces haven't brought their absolute top A team fully into the cyber engagement. I'm surprised that the internet's still up, that the communication systems are still up.
Both senators on the Senate Intelligence Committee wrote a letter to President Joe Biden last year urging the president to look into the decision to move Space Command from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama.
We're a lot better off, as I said, spending money in space than we are, and on the mission, than we are wasting it by moving this somewhere else.
Senator Warner, who is the committee chair, says geographic proximity of the Department of Defense, the intelligence community, and Colorado's investment into commercial space makes here the only logical choice.
I do not believe that the decision to move Space Command to begin with had anything to do with our national security.
Yep. There are two ongoing investigations, one by the Inspector General and another by the U.S. Government Accountability Office, into the decision to move Space Command from Colorado to Alabama. Senator Michael Bennet tells me, why waste money on moving to a new state when you can save money, spend it on the mission here in Colorado. Reporting live in El Paso County, Dan Beedie, 13 Investigates.
Dan, thank you. Developing news at this hour, the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office is investigating a suspicious death.
Our crews on scene say investigators just removed a body from there. It is now unfolding in the 1400 block of Valencia Place. That is near the intersection of I-25 and Highway 50 and just west of the Roselawn Cemetery. We will keep you updated with any new information. In continuing coverage, a key investigator is now saying accused wife killer Barry Morphew, his arrest was too hasty and they didn't have enough evidence yet. So because of that, today Morphew's attorneys are asking the judge to dismiss the case right now.
Morphew is facing the possibility of life in prison if convicted after his wife vanished on Mother's Day of 2020. Krdo News Channel 13 senior reporter Sydnee Steele joins us from the studio with the latest. Sydnee.
Well, Mallory, Heather, a judge is hearing evidence right now in Fremont County from Barry Morphew's attorneys asking to get his case dismissed after a key investigator went on record saying he did not think there was enough evidence to arrest Morphew quite yet. Law enforcement arrested Morphew last May, roughly a year after his wife was reported missing. Her body still has not been found. Now, the evidence in this case was strong enough to move forward to trial, but a judge believed it was slim enough to let Barry out on bond in the meantime. If the defense gets their way, he won't move forward to trial at all. They're alleging that the prosecution hid key evidence from them, including that one of the main investigators, CBI agent Joe Cahill, did not think they had enough evidence to arrest Barry at the time. Now, he testified to that today in front of a judge, but he was also moved out of the major crimes unit after investigating the case and eventually resigned from the bureau altogether. In fact, he broke down on the stand today talking about just the amount of stress he was under during that investigation. 5 more witnesses are supposed to be called today. The hearing's still taking place. We'll update you as soon as we know more. Reporting from our studio, I'm Sydnee Steele, KRDO News Channel 13.
Sydnee, thank you. New at 5 tonight, the Pueblo police are releasing numbers to KRDO on the criminal backgrounds of their homicide suspects. The Steele City saw a 107% increase in the homicide rate a year ago. KRDO News Channel 13's Sean Rice is live at Pueblo Police Headquarters now. Sean.
Yeah, Mallory, there were 29 homicides here in Pueblo in 2021. And Pueblo Police Chief Chris Noller told me that's the most murders here since 1992.
It's tragic for the family members of those people who have been murdered. It's tragic for our community.
Police Chief Chris Noller knows the homicide rate in Pueblo is troubling, but newly released numbers shed light on who is accused and what their backgrounds show.
If they're going to bond out of jail, or if they're going to be released out of prison back into the streets of Pueblo, I mean, there's only so much we can do.
Of the 2021 homicide suspects, police say 13 are known gang members and 2 were previously deported illegal immigrants who re-enter the country unlawfully. 9 suspects have had 5 or more felony arrests, 2 have had 10 or more felony arrests, and 1 has had 15 felony arrests prior to being accused of murder. Additionally, 3 suspects were on some form of release at the time of the crime, whether that be bond, parole, or probation.
We are repeatedly arresting violent offenders who are carrying weapons and using those weapons in offenses and putting them in jail when they happen.
Noller says homicide can be one of the hardest crimes to prevent. It's often a personal, emotionally charged criminal act, but the message remains the same. A tough-on-crime approach is needed to see a change in the homicide rate.
I can't say all of them, but there's quite a few that, you know, if they would be locked up for the things that they've done previously, they wouldn't be out killing people right now.
Pueblo police tell me they are doing their part to keep violent crime low. Things like proactive patrol targeting drug use and gang violence. And Noller tells me he also has a desire to find solutions to this very problem across the entire spectrum of the criminal justice system. Reporting live in Pueblo, Sean Rice, KRDO News Channel 13.
Interesting. Thank you, Sean. New at 5, a new solution for spiking house prices in Colorado Springs now, especially if you can't afford a down payment but don't want to live in an apartment.
Yeah, it's a rental housing development proposed for northeast Colorado Springs near the intersection of Woodman and Black Forest Roads.
That's where we join KRDO News Channel 13's Scott Harrison with a live update. Scott.
Well, I'm standing just up the hill from that Woodman Black Forest Road intersection. You can see it behind me. Where I'm at right now, though, is Templeton Gap Road. But somewhere to the southeast of this location is where a developer wants to build 137 houses on 12 acres. Detached single-family homes that you can rent instead of buy. The 6 members of the O'Brien family are tired of living in an apartment and long for a house of their own. But with high prices and limited availability, it's not easy.
Man, it's been real hard. Me and my wife are looking for a house right now, and it's been difficult.
But instead of buying a house, how about renting one? Continental Properties, a Wisconsin developer, released plans this week to build 137 houses for rent. All the privacy and space of a home with the apartment conveniences of maintenance-free living.
Now see, you gotta know about all that. Now that'd be something, that families could look into, depending on the bedroom sizes.
We don't know yet what the monthly rates would be. City officials and the developer were unavailable for comment. But we know that existing houses rent for thousands of dollars a month. The concept of built to rent actually arrived in Colorado Springs 2 years ago. That's when a local developer started building these cottages on the southeast side of the city. All 86 cottages were rented within 2 months. And that success led the developer to start another project with twice as many units on the north end of Cascade Avenue, with a waiting list already forming for those. This latest project is just at the beginning of the approval process, but the developer hopes to start construction this summer. And this proposal comes the same week that home prices here in the city reached another record high. That continues a 7-year trend that shows no sign of slowing. We're live on the northeast side of Colorado Springs. Scott Harrison, KRDO News Channel 13.
Scott, thank you. Now here's a check on the latest COVID-19 numbers in our community. Today, the state reports 140 new cases in El Paso County. That is a bit higher than numbers from earlier this week, but almost 300 cases lower compared to just a month ago. Pueblo County reports 57 new cases. That's also a bit higher than earlier this week, but a 50-case drop compared to numbers 1 month ago. Teller County reports 6 cases, and Fremont County reports 61 of its own. Teller County also reclassified 1 death to no longer be linked to the county. Another deadly accident on our roads. What investigators are saying about a possible cause and the 2 vehicles involved.
Plus, another tough hurdle for victims of the Marshall Fire. Why a new lawsuit could cause rebuilding delays.
Let's do this! When you wake up in the morning, darling, I'll be by your side. I'll be there by your side. I'll be everything you want to. Hold up your hand, let the stars shoot again, let the light.
To start your day off right, you gotta start with Good Morning Colorado and
Good Morning America.
Viewed Morning News.